Finally, some good news. The Conservative Party of the UK, which has been in turmoil in recent years, has elected its new leader. And it elected the leader that I desperately wanted for this country. And that is Kemi Badenoch. She's the first black leader of a major English-speaking Democratic Party. And I am pretty certain she will end up winning the next election because of the falsity of what Labour did to get elected and what they're doing in real life. I don't think Keir Starmer will actually last a year. Now, she is a dynamic, charismatic, well-spoken and mediumly educated, but well-spoken, very intelligent, very fluidly intelligent. She's very good at turning on a pin and answering questions and dancing the political dance. But she's not an ideologue. She's the opposite. She is anti-woke. She is the most anti-woke person who could lead England in the current format that we have. She is the perfect person to lead England. She was the person I would have picked 4 years ago. And I followed her career along with Suella Braverman, but she had conflicts and problems that disqualified her from really leading, although she tried. She will play a role now because they get on because, again, she's very anti-woke and anti-immigration. So they're both anti the things that are the biggest problems we have in this country, in England. And this should send a message to America, because America is hopefully not, and it looks likely not, going to elect the first ever completely unqualified president in Kamala Harris. Now, people get angry when you say she was a diversity hire. But if you want to get angry with me about saying that she actually was picked because she was a woman of colour, and only that, which is why she couldn't be replaced at the top of the ticket, because their identity politics in the Democrat Party is so sewn into it that they can't deviate from it. They'd never have lived it down if they picked a white man. So they had to run with her. She's proven to fail at every opportunity, and Christ, they're propping her up with skyscrapers and she's still falling to the ground every time. And Kemi Badenoch is a fully black woman. Now, Kamala Harris is half Indian, quarter black, quarter English, I believe, or quarter Irish, one of our Bichards. And Kemi Badenoch is a black British woman. She's admirable. She got to where she got through hard slog, through the cancel culture, through not scandals on her part, but through party scandals, through handling everything, through handling the last 6 years of her political career in the woke environment and keeping up the exact principles she had at that time. She will not bend 1 inch in the way of left progressive ideologies. And that's what England and Europe and America desperately need. Woke ideologies will lead to socialism and or communism in every place they've ever been and tried. Wokeism is Marxism just defined by identity politics instead of class. That's the only difference. Everything else in wokeism and everything that they were taught comes out of the Marxist doctrines. Like Kamala Harris's policies, part of communist doctrines. They don't work in democracies. They would tank the stock market. They require complete media propaganda and compliance from every citizen to run socialist or communist policies. But she's put them up as things she wants to do when she gets in power in America. Kemi Badenoch has made it clear that she wants to bring and restore this country back to where it was when Boris Johnson won. Now, he made a mistake, and unfortunately, considering the mistakes made by Biden and Harris, Boris made a mistake. He held a party during COVID. It wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. But he had to resign over that. And he won by 80%, or just over. The biggest landslide in English history. And he had to resign because if you lie to Parliament once, you have to resign. So the reason why Joe Biden hasn't been attended as a witness in his own criminal trials by Congress It's because if he lies, he's lying to Congress. And since then, the Tory party has just gone through, I mean, make a joke, 18 prime ministers in 4 years, but it's actually four. But it's still ridiculous. And Rishi Sunak, for all he could and was doing for the country, he was improving things. He didn't have the charisma, and he doesn't have the natural leadership skills to lead and inspire a country. He can run one. He made an excellent chancellor. He can run one, and I would suggest that he does play a big role in every government that comes forward because he's extraordinarily bright, but he doesn't have the charisma. Kemi Badenoch has the strength, the resolve, the unbending moral compass that she has, which I agree with, which is based on family values, loving each other. The concept of loving thy neighbour being loving every other human being, especially when they're in need. It doesn't mean loving the people you get on with. That was not what it was ever supposed to mean. And good old Christian values, even if you're not Christian, which I'm not, are probably the best moral compass you can provide for yourself. So Kemi Badenoch is a fantastically talented leader who is now the opposition leader and of the biggest and over history the main party in England, and she has all the policies that everyone in England wants. And I am extraordinarily happy that she has won that, because she looked like she was just going to lose it by a bit, and she won. And now that it changes the political landscape in England in a big way, her being the opposition leader, and if she's elected in the general, a huge way, she will reverse so much damage that's been done. So that's one election that was important, and the right person got the job. Now on Tuesday there's a much more important election. It's the most important election in world history for everybody in the world. Western democracies and totalitarian enemies. It's the biggest decision, and it's going to have the biggest effect of any election in world history in any country. And it's so banal and so crazy, and the rhetoric on the Democrat side is so hateful and so incorrect. They take sound bites from Donald Trump's conversations, and then they try and say what he was saying was this, when in fact, if you listen to the whole thing, he was saying nothing of the sort. That's true of every major scandal of what they've said he has said. They're sound bites. The bleach one, Charlottesville, Project 25, the enemy from within, threat to democracy, the firing squad and Liz Cheney thing, all bollocks. He was talking about the fact that her and her father have sent many, many men to war to die in countries they've never heard of, and she wouldn't be so brave if she was staring down the gun of a barrel herself and had to fight. And that was the point he was making about her father, and a number of other warmongers in the democratic machine. And they then went absolutely mental. It's the first time I looked at all of the work there and all of the titles. I went, there's nobody who can believe that. It's just stupid. One of the titles, a major publication, Politico, said that Trump wants to put Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad if he's elected. That couldn't happen. There are laws to stop anyone doing that if they were crazy enough to do it, but he has no intention of doing it, and he's not crazy. I'll leave it there. Think about what I've said. You be lucky. I'll be good.